that big old hamster up there.
Yes, sir. Welcome back into the podcast, the Sporting Lounge.
Ugly looking hamster, but that's fine.
Which hamster?
I guess both y'all hamsters.
Sing off right now.
Oh.
We got hamster 1 and hamster 2. That's fine.
So grab a beer, kick up your feet. Thanks for joining us. Tonight is going to be more NFL news. I'm not sure where we're going with this intro, but I'm sure y'all are having a great time with it. So, me and the three Derpamation kiddos, because, Jesus, Shane, what the fuck are you doing?
Me?
Why?
Yeah. We're going to be talking about why Bill Belichick is on the hot seat.
Well, don't pose like that.
Is Bill Belichick on the hot seat? I know, I went completely off what you wanted.
No, I'm okay with that, though. That's a good discussion to have because, I mean, it's NFL.
No, Bill Belichick will never be on the hot seat.
I'm going to say Bill Belichick's earned the right to retire no matter how bad he does.
Robert Kraft and Bill Belichick
he's earned the right to go out when he wants to. Yeah.
They have
if there was ever a coach in any sport,
I think it's really two in the NFL that'll never be on the hot seat: Mike Tomlin and Bill Belichick.
He brought them 2 decades of winning.
Those two end the story.
Okay. Not Andy Reid?
Because
now 2 Super Bowls with Kansas City? Or do you think he could still...
Well, he's had success, but he's never had the long-term sustained success like Mike Tomlin and Bill Belichick.
What?
Like, he has had
He
that
made
long-term
Philadelphia.
success as a coach.
Yeah.
No, let me cut you off because that's not what Austin meant to say. In Philadelphia, he was good, and in Kansas City, he's been spectacular. But, like, in Philadelphia, he's spectacular, too. 2 NFC championship appearances. Great job. I think he had a Super Bowl appearance, too, in Philadelphia in 2002. And very good head coach in Philadelphia. But the thing is, in Philadelphia, if he was still coaching in Philly, he'd be in the same conversation. But because he switched where he was, not because of his choice, but, because, like, bad call in my opinion, but they end up winning a couple more Super Bowls. But, like, with Andy Reid, I think a couple of those extra seasons, they would have gotten a couple. Whatever. It doesn't matter. I think Andy Reid is the best coach that Philly's seen in the last 50 years. So that's besides the point. But, like, I'd agree with that. With Andy Reid being so good for 2 different teams, it's almost like he doesn't have that culture built around him. Like, Bill Belichick is the Patriots. Mike Tomlin is the Steelers. That's why. When Mike Vrabel gets a couple more winning seasons,
inflation's all over again.
It's going to be the similar situation. Dan Campbell is the type of coach that, you're talking about a team having a culture there. They're the team. That's why their seat will never get hot. And plus, like, with Dan Campbell and, anybody that's not Mike Tomlin or Bill Belichick, they need to win a ring, like, to not get a hot seat. You need to get one ring at least. Exactly. You need to win 1 ring and probably be in 2 Super Bowls at least. At least. And you need to have playoff success and regular season success very consistently.
I would have thrown Sean Payton in there, but then he just retired. Now he's being on a new team. He's got it starts all over. He's got to prove.
Yep.
Because if he doesn't win it, and then probably 2-3 years maybe.
2.
He might get fired.
I think 2. Yep.
I was going to say, I
don't think he has to win the Super Bowl, but he has to make some.
I think Denver's in a perfect situation to. This is an all-in it's an all or nothing situation right now, and they have the perfect opportunity to let it ride or get rid of Russ and Peyton and be done with them at the same time and start fresh.
So. Yeah.
See, I disagree with that. I think that's why it's 2 years. Is because they're going to give Russ 1 more year, and if the Russ experiment does not work out, then they have a high pick to go get another quarterback, and then if Sean Payton can't win with that quarterback immediately, then his head's on the guillotine block, and he might get 1 more year. And that's the Sean Payton situation.
But see, the Denver's in a tight spot with that contract with Russell Wilson. I mean,
that was
they
a
might
big
try
contract.
to get him to renegotiate it and then trade him, kind of like what the Rams probably were trying to do with Matthew Stafford, but Matthew Stafford said no.
Well, his
they might
contract's
try
fully
to do
guaranteed, so why?
They might do the same thing with Russell Wilson. I know, but I'm saying the Rams are trying to get him to renegotiate to cut the cap space, potentially to try and trade him to get out from under him.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there's no
That's all
hope
I'm
for the
saying.
Rams now, right? Like they do have to do a rebuild. So,
I don't know.
It could still be,
I mean, I think they can still contend. Not as a Super
still
Bowl
get it done.
champion.
I mean,
I don't think they're Super Bowl
I think they
contenders,
have
but I
that
think
potential.
But I think
their defense is so much
playoffs.
weaker now, and also
it's pretty much just Aaron Donald now.
Yeah, like they can't contend. I think their window's closed. You know, Matthew Stafford. I think Matthew Stafford could still be a great quarterback. I think he could be a top 10 quarterback given a full healthy season and the tools that he has. Like you still got Cooper Kupp, who's still a great receiver. Just had like a downish year, a Cooper Kupp down year last year. Well,
he got hurt. He was on pace.
Yeah.
Possibly be better than this previous season before he went down.
I would still disagree. I think the Rams have a shot because I think that offense can be potent enough.
Especially if they actually give Cam Akers free reign and then Tyler.
I mean, Cam Akers.
I think they can be potent on offense, and then
I think Cam.
And then I think that
I don't want to say this because I want him from Travis, but Cam Akers is about to go off this year.
He looks good.
Yeah,
we'll see.
I think he's gonna.
I think the Rams will be good, but I don't think that they'll be contenders. I don't think they're Super Bowl
contenders.
I think at their ceiling they don't get out of the divisional. Like I don't see it.
I would agree, but I would not be surprised if we see them in the championship and Super Bowl or Super Bowl. That's all.
Ooh, I want to go Super Bowl. I'd go playoffs. I expect them to make the playoffs or close to.
On to another bubble team. D-Hop to the Titans.
I think
I love it for Treylon.
Garbage burger.
Better. Infinitely makes that team better.
No, yeah, it makes that team so much better.
You think he'll have an impact?
Oh yeah,
of course. I mean,
just on Derrick Henry alone.
I think it's real life.
Last year,
you think Julio had an impact? Like Randy Moss had an impact?
D-Hop is also 2 and 3 years younger, respectively, than they were.
That's true.
And
you look at the Titans now on that offense, and he's like, damn, they could probably beat anyone. Last year, you couldn't really say that. So I think, really, regardless of whoever D-Hop went to, he drastically improves that offense.
If you get 2020 Ryan Tannehill out of nowhere, then yeah.
For them to hit 10 wins, they need a lot from Treylon Burks as well, not just from D-Hop, in my opinion. So I still see them as a bottom 3 team in that division.
Their defense is okay. I mean,
a bottom 3 team. And
I mean, obviously, you want to have a player
so
like
obviously the Jags are going to run away with that.
Makes their offense better. But does Tennessee pass enough that it even matters in the grand scheme of things?
Hence why Treylon Burks has to step up too, because Ryan Tannehill has to throw for at least 3,500.
They have mismatches on the field. They're going to have, and I mean, it's a perfect situation. Henry's old now. He's had a major injury now. Time to stop feeding him. I mean, he's still going to get his touches, but instead of having no problem handing him the ball 30 plus times a game, it's going to be cut back to 20-23. And spread the ball around a little bit, give them a shot on offense. If they can do that and keep their offense unpredictable, then it can work out.
I think Tannehill will easily hit that 3,500 mark.
I mean, you've seen what happens the last time he had an elite talent at wide receiver on his team, and they let him pass it. He finished fantasy quarterback number 8 in PPR, and I traded him immediately. But
good choice.
I don't ever expect him to do that again, but he definitely could have a top 15 season if they utilize him correctly this season. And if he actually stays healthy this season, he didn't stay healthy last season at all. So, yeah, that's my take on that. I think it's going to be a lot more potential to be beneficial in real life than in fantasy.
Mm-hmm. I think this is going to be an interesting division.
Better scheme build.
Especially for fantasy-wise.
I think the Texans have potential to be a very good team this year. I was talking about that in the AFC South video, but the Texans
sleeping
are
on
really
CJ. Everyone's sleeping on Stroud.
I would,
and you got Will Anderson too.
That's a big thing.
I don't know. And like as I was talking about in the AFC South video, gaping holes has been the issue with this team for the last 5 years. The thing is that they did this all season was they filled those gaping holes with good players. Like, they're solid.
Talent.
Like, you look at their roster, it's kind of unproven, but it has the potential to be good. And, like, I wouldn't be surprised if finally they come around. Because the Titans are losing their reign to the Jags, but who's to say that the Jags don't get tripped up a little bit? You know, like, that's kind of how I feel about the AFC South. Like, I wouldn't be surprised to see the Jags get tripped up a little bit by a couple games. You know, a couple bumps and bruises. And then out of nowhere, the Texans are able to dark horse arrive and play more effectively than what the fuck was that?
I think the Texans definitely needed Anderson, but man, I would have loved to see JSN go there.
Did you guys see that? Like a big old pink light just started flashing up around me.
Yeah, that was me, baby. No, I think people are sleeping on CJ Stroud. I made Ben go back and rewatch some footage of him, and
He's pretty good.
I think he's gonna
very good.
I think he's gonna be better than Bryce.
I think he will be too. Like,
I mean, you know who I'm
I like the
interested in?
Maybe, but short term, no.
Anthony
Short-term,
Richardson.
He has the better weapons.
He's been looking good in camp from what I've been hearing so far. I watched a couple.
It's just because he went to my
today,
Colts.
and
That's why.
So is Gardner Minshew. So he's a projected day one starter right now.
I prefer
yeah.
Minshew. I liked the
How things
Minshew
should
mania. Yeah, he should get an actual chance in the NFL. All honesty.
Colts should have drafted JSN over Anthony Richardson. You can't change my mind.
Ooh, I don't know about JSN considering
They
there was
should
a
have
lot
drafted
like Devin
A lot of
Witherspoon.
people over.
Like I would have taken Witherspoon.
That would have been nice.
I
I
would
would
have
take
taken
him too.
Everyone
JS
drafted from 4 to
taking JSN
15.
Because Ben, you trust Gardner Minshew, so you already have Alec Pierce, you already have Michael Pittman, and then you draft JSN and then throw Minshew in there.
That'd be a fun offense
That's
with Jonathan Taylor in the
yeah.
backfield. Yeah. That may have been the better bet, but apparently the NFL knows something we don't because they're not giving Gardner the chance. So
You know what the NFL knows that we don't? Apparently they know something about running backs because why does Dalvin Cook, Kareem Hunt, and Ezekiel Elliott still not have a home?
Yeah.
I'm a little
The only one that
surprised.
even seen signs of going somewhere is Dalvin, obviously, heating up, saying that there's very high chance that he goes to New York is what he said today.
So
When he was asked
I
about
think,
it. but
like,
that
here's
also
the
could be
thing.
him, trying to get the other teams to penny up more. But I think we're gonna have a very within the next week we'll hear. I think we're getting close.
Mm-hmm.
I think the thing is, running back market right now, it's just obscene because it's like there are several free agent running backs past, Ezekiel Elliott and Kareem Hunt. There's several more backs that are below them that aren't as effective that probably make a significant amount of teams better. But the thing is with Hunt, Ezekiel Elliott, and Dalvin Cook is they make 32 teams better by them signing on that roster. That roster will be better if they are on that team.
Just not
No ifs. Just not the Jets, I guess.
Just not the Jets. Stay away from the Jets. How about that?
It's because of the amount of money they
He's a
want
Patriots
comparatively what they can get for, the young draft picks and the low paid guys.
Like Saquon Barkley being a weirdo with that weird ass contract.
Well,
Okay,
that makes sense.
For $900K.
Okay. That's not what he held
With
up
that.
for. Like, and if you just look at it, that's what it looks like. Because his franchise tag was $10.1 million, and that's all he was eligible to get under the franchise tag. Is what the amount is. There you go. And yes, he signed for 11 mil, and 10.1 of it guaranteed. But he also has another $900K in incentives. But there's also another clause that gets him. He can work his way up to 13 mil this year. But what it also does is makes it so he's now eligible to be franchise tagged next year. So what he did is he increased the amount of money he can get by like $4 million, and also made it a 2-year contract instead of a 1.
Yeah.
So that's huge, actually.
which was a smart move, and probably.
And like I hate how people are like, it's only $900K. It's $1 million fucking dollars. First of all, just like on a basic concept, I would hold out of work for a week or two if I got $1 million.
Yeah,
I don't know,
but it's like it's actually like a potential of $4 million this year, and if he gets franchise tag next year, and the franchise tag,
it becomes a $20 million 2-year deal.
It would have been that way.
He held out for $20 million.
No, because he wouldn't have gotten franchise tagged.
Well, probably 15.
Because if he got franchise tagged this year, they wouldn't be able to franchise tag him next year.
Yeah, he'd have been done. He would have been either contract by the end of the season or gone.
Yeah.
So
what it did was it bought the Giant. It was a player. It was a team friendly deal and a player friendly deal. So it's a win-win on both sides. Because if he has a horrible season, then they don't have to franchise.
People how to get it done. Those running backs are at 26, 27 years old. That's the way to get it done right there.
And then hope for a low ball offer for 3 more years.
Yep.
He just bagged a $20 million contract.
Yeah, and then he'll
at what, 27?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So then he'll be 29.
Yeah, but he just
play as a backup for the.
So but the way it was going is
they
like
tag him twice in a row. So I mean, next year he could have got tagged as well if he signed this one.
Okay, well then he extended out by 2 years. Yeah, so he just made a 1-year deal, a 3-year deal.
All he did was help himself.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he kind of all but admitted that he didn't want to sit out and that he was just signing to play.
I mean, I'd sign to play too.
That's passion. That's love for the game.
You sat out. Sure. You get to do what you love, and you made $1 million more. I'm pretty sure that's not a loss.
Yeah,
I don't blame.
You gotta take a couple days on vacation. Got an extra $1 million. Exactly. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
A pill and a visa.
I mean, especially since you're watching Zeke and Hunt not get signed, along with Dalvin Cook. Like, you're watching this, and now you get an opportunity to sign, play, and make another $1 million. Like, yeah, it's a pretty smart decision on his end. Sucks because Kareem Hunt,
especially in New York with how much the tax is.
Oh yeah.
No, I do think that coming up though with like what everything that's going on, the next CBA, the running backs are definitely going to have to renegotiate some things if they want.
Yeah, big
because
time.
The trend now is draft running back young, break the wheels off of him during his rookie contract.
And ditch him.
Doesn't matter how good you are unless you are just unless you are that elite talent, you're done.
I would say
if they want to go that route, they're gonna have to shorten the rookie contract. And not a lot
for running backs, maybe only make it 3 years with a 1 year.
You can't just do running backs. You got to do all players.
Yeah. Well, I don't know because look at all the QBs that just got signed. Like their contracts are fully guaranteed. I don't think they care.
That's fine, but you really gotta lower for all.
Yeah, I mean, who was it? Bryce Young is making more than like 4 running backs. Yeah, so like, he hasn't even played a snap.
I mean, perks of being the number one,
the head man, the QB.
But
still,
I don't know.
We're talking about proven players that would make 32 teams better.
And they can't even say that it doesn't work. Like the only thing that has happened is that the new fad is just of passing in the league. That's all it's changing. It's not that running backs aren't effective. Like that's literally all that's happening.
Yeah, running backs are catching more.
It's just like Steph Curry just made traditional back to the basket centers go away. Like running back,
he's getting
ball hawk. You know,
Bryce Young be getting a $6.1 million bonus every year. And a $750K salary.
That sounds like me on Madden.
$7 million a year, roughly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
$6 million is your bonus. Like Jesus.
$7 million a year.
Yeah, and a guy who has arguably been like at worst top 7 in the league since he's came in, and Dalvin Cook, and who's still just had a great season. People didn't want to offer him more than $7 million a year.
Yeah,
well, it's not just that. It's but like the
I know the age difference, but like,
well, he deserves $13 million.
Not that long ago.
I would say,
and people can say that like,
that he doesn't deserve 10.
the franchises and the owners are protecting themselves because of because of Todd Gurley's deal, and that's what you know what. That's not protecting yourselves. That's screwing an entire position out because you didn't do your homework and didn't realize that dude had 3 reconstructive knee surgeries before he took a snap in the NFL. Yeah, his knees were already not, just logically speaking, weren't going to last as long, and you decided to give him a freaking contract like that. That's no one else's fault but yours.
And now no one else wants to
every
play
single player
victim.
that comes into the NFL yeah. And I don't know. I just don't know. I mean, it sucks.
Football would be way less exciting without a running back.
Well, obviously, no shit.
But I mean, but also another reason is because all these super contracts for the quarterbacks. Someone's got to take a pay cut.
It ain't the left tackle. Those guys get signed.
It is kind of.
It should be the quarterback.
But the thing that backs it up is think about all the teams that have won the Super Bowl in the last 10 years. None of them had a true workhorse running back unless you go all the way back to Seattle with Marshawn Lynch. It was all running back by committees or teams that won the Super Bowl. So if you want to prove from a winning standpoint that an elite running back's needed workhorse, it's not true. And I hate to say that. Mm-hmm. And that's a huge part of the argument.
But in as fast as you say that argument, I instantly start thinking of Super Bowl winning teams that were more run focused. They're not uncommon.
That's true.
Just in teams that made it to the Super Bowl that were run focused. Mm-hmm. Think about Super Bowl teams, not just who won the Super Bowl, because the Super Bowl, they're the 2 best teams on each side. It's a 50-50 gamble. They lost the coin flip. Look at the teams that are in there. You got San Francisco. I think that's within the last 10 years. They had Frank Gore in there running the wheels off him. You got.
He played
Let's
forever.
see here.
I'd say Philly in general runs a lot, and they've been in twice.
Baltimore. Well, that was way back. That was Joe Flacco. That was long ago. Never mind.
Well, I was going to say, just historically speaking, the 2000 Baltimore Ravens were a very just give the ball to Jamal Lewis and let Ray Lewis and Ed Reed take over on the other side. And we won a Super Bowl that way.
All right, last 10 years. Baltimore wins over San Francisco. Both those teams were pretty run-focused. Joe Flacco was having that killer season, but, was that...
I'm going to stop you right there. One random shout-out for Joe Flacco deciding that postseason. I'm going to have a top 5 postseason all-time by a QB and then just dip out.
Yeah, he got his ring. He said bye. He was out. He was done.
Yeah. I mean, you had Ray Rice. You had Ray Rice on that Ravens team still, who was, before he wanted to play Rocco Sock'em Robots with his wife.
Turn my camera off real quick.
Oh my God.
What?
I had a booger.
Okay, so...
Anyways.
What?
All right.
So the top 10, Shane, you're still listening.
I'm pulling them all up. So Patriots versus Seahawks. Seahawks barely lose, but you got Marshawn Lynch on that team. So that's a team
which
that...
I did say Lynch.
Yeah. So right now we have Ray Rice, Frank Gore, Marshawn Lynch.
That was the last.
C.J. Anderson on that season with the Broncos, when Peyton Manning was starting to lose it.
Yeah, 1,000 yards.
Yeah, the Panthers, who were running a lot of option with Cam Newton. So Cam Newton is my pick there, but that's just because Then you got the Eagles that went over the New England Patriots, and they were relying on LeGarrette Blount and that running back by committee, but Blount was killer that year. Then the next Super Bowl, you got Sony Michel, who was picking up a lot of the slack for Tom Brady because it was seeming like Tom Brady was actually finally getting old, and boy, were we fucking fooled. But on the other side, you had Todd Gurley. So now we're at 7 running backs.
Sony Michel, that's James White. James White over Sony Michel.
Well, yeah, but that's the same era. So we're at 7 running backs that significantly help their teams. Then we get into the 49ers versus Chiefs. Running backs aren't as reliant on those games. Chiefs versus Bucks. I mean, playoff Lenny was killer, but during the regular season they weren't as reliant. The Bengals relied on Joe Mixon quite a bit. Rams sort of relied on Cam Akers. He was more of a pass receiving back. And then finally this past season it was Eagles versus Chiefs. But I think the point's proven. It seems like 8 to 10 players, you could say, reliably running the ball is winning Super Bowls. When we're talking about a player like a Zeke, when we're talking about a player like Kareem Hunt, when we're talking about a player like Dalvin Cook, these are players that are arguably top 10 in their position group. Why the fuck are they still free agents? That's the obscene thing.
Because teams, 1, can't afford, teams 2 don't want to pay.
It's just obscene. There needs to be something.
Because Dalvin Cook goes to Miami,
handful of teams
for
over
a big
15
deal,
million,
and they win the division. Or if he goes to the Bills and they win the division, either way, that will show that yes, you should pay a running back.
See,
he needs to go to Miami or the Bills
and
win.
But whatever team they go to is going to have to take a pay cut. They're going to take less than what they want, than what they're asking for. Like I said, a handful of teams have over 13 million cap. And most of those teams, you're not going to want a running back.
Well, they're playing it smart by
got your running back.
Because as the weeks go by, the roster has to get smaller. Once the roster gets smaller, the salary cap goes up.
Yeah,
just wait it out and get a couple extra mil in your pocket for them to toss your way.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I was one of them, I'd wait for a couple, running backs go down in training camp. Knock on wood, we hope it doesn't happen, but it always does every year. Wait for 1 or 2 more spots to open. Team realizes, hey, we need this guy, and then opens their pocketbook. So for them, I say good for waiting the playing game. Sad that it has to be that way. That's just the fact of it.
Because I still think Zeke could produce on an elite level. I do. I'm tired of the Zeke hate. I just am.
I won't say it's Zeke hate.
He's still so good.
I would say borderline 1,000 yards,
Zeke
which is still good in the NFL.
Yeah, I think he get 1,100 yards. I think that's pretty.
Well, what's messed up is the current players CBA is in effect until 2030, so it's not going to change anytime soon.
Well, that means if you're in fantasy football and a running back gets drafted in the first or second round, you pick him up early. That's what that means. So I think Bijan Robinson, Jahmyr Gibbs, Charbonnet, and maybe even Miller all go in the first this year.
It's just rentals now. It's all rentals now.
Yep. You use your first round
running backs
in
in Dynasty. I would say in Dynasty now, when you draft a running back, just know that they're a 3-4 year rental, and that's it.
I mean, when you get banged around as much, it makes sense.
So
I'm not surprised.
I mean, I got 3 picks in the first round. Let's see which running back I get. You know what? I'm hoping for Kenneth Walker to, have a really bad camp
running back,
so I can get Charbonnet.
When Cook and Zeke get signed, they'll probably be for, I predict, 9 to 10 million. I bet. For him to get signed this year, it's going to have to be in the 9 to 10 million range for it to make sense for a team.
Speaking of cap space and rookie quarterback deals, Brock Purdy is healthy.
My boy, Purdy.
He's still sitting on my bench.
Might as well just trade Trey Lance.
Yeah, dude, get rid of Lance. It's nothing but a distraction.
Yeah, if they got Darnold as well, from a business standpoint, it makes sense for them too, because if they're confident in Purdy and they're going to proceed with him week 1, and they signed Sam Darnold to be their backup,
I'd hold on to Trey Lance if I was the 49ers, depending on what a team would give me, because he's
I'm going to say, but if I was like a
cheap backup,
field offers, but only let him go if it's worth it. But if use high draft capital on them, and people are drafting players for athletic hype, like Malik Willis and Anthony Richardson, and Trey Lance falls in that category too. So someone might take a stab at him.
Yeah, and he's so cheap. Oh,
toss a second.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Trey Lance, his career in San Fran's all but over.
I don't know about
And he has
that. Just
no
because
fantasy relevance.
Brock Purdy's in the perfect system for him to excel, just because of the kind of offense that they run. Even before the injury, Brock Purdy didn't have a cannon of an arm. He wasn't very effective on downfield throws pretty far. A lot of those big plays are reliant on George Kittle and Deebo Samuel and Christian McCaffrey, three at the best at creating yards after the catch in the league, taking 5-yard touches and taking it and turning it into something different. That's where a lot. Although his nose and Brock Purdy showed elite caliber of the ability to utilize his check down and read the field. I'll give him that. But his physical attributes are definitely limited as far as pushing the offense down the field. If they want to open the playbook up at all, then having Lance there is definitely something they should utilize. But the kind of injury that Purdy had also, I mean, MLB pitchers have been coming back better from it recently in the last 5-6 years.
Well, he also didn't have
the
the
surgeries
Tommy
on that.
John.
I know, but it's close.
It was close
That
to Tommy John. It makes a big difference.
It does. It does make a big
It
difference.
does.
Huge difference.
But it's still not good.
No, I'm not saying it is good. I'm just saying a big difference from Tommy
I think
John.
it will be
Tommy John, he
permanent
would've-
effects, though.
I think he comes back pretty nice.
I don't know.
He's going to have 3,800 yards.
I think the 49ers are the player that wins in that situation, though, because, if Purdy does come back, you get to see it first, and then you get to open up the market to Trey Lance. And Trey Lance, I think, still has value. Because the thing is, it's not like Trey Lance played bad. He just got hurt. And then, when he was playing, he was okay, but he didn't have a lot of opportunities. And, he's young enough where, you could build a team around him, or you could insert him into a team. And, he's the type of player that, kind of is the Drew Brees situation. I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case scenario. If no one remembers, but Drew Brees was originally on the Chargers, got shipped off to the Saints because they were just we think we have a better quarterback.
Phillip Rivers.
And I don't know. I think looking back with
That's
hindsight,
pretty good for both.
I'd rather have Drew Brees. I'd rather have Drew Brees.
I mean, Drew Brees was very underrated.
I will say that Phillip Rivers is good. Is very good. Don't get me wrong. But if Drew Brees was the quarterback of the Chargers from 2005 to 2008, they would have won at least one chip during that time frame. They were too freaking good. They had one of the seasons they had the number 1 rated offense and number 1 rated defense in the league head into the postseason,
and their special teams were so ass. So ass.
There's so many times I would watch their playoff games and they'd be winning, and then in the last 3 minutes of a game they'd just do something that is just absurd, or something absolutely stupid would happen, and it would always go against them, and they'd lose a game in a heartbreak every single time. There was plenty of times where where Phillip Rivers had outplayed Peyton and Tom in the games, and just the defense or the special teams in the last 2 minutes would just give the game away.
Yeah, because one of those years, I think it was 2006. I think
Against the Colts.
No, the Chargers versus Patriots lost by 3 for the special teams.
Yeah,
man, what a good fun! That was a fun time.
For you Patriots fans, man, I was a huge. I always been a Lions fan first, but Chargers fan second because LT is my favorite player ever, and my Lions weren't in the playoffs in that era, so I had to watch the Chargers.
That's fair.
The one year they did make the playoffs, they got slapped by the Saints.
They made it
Shellacked
again,
on.
And then the NFL screwed them over on that face mask and defensive pass interference call against the Cowboys. Eric Ebron.
Shellacked them.
Shut up. Lions fans love to
they
hold on
picked-
to bad calls.
I just want the officiating to be better in general.
Lions fans always hold on to bad calls. It's fine though. We still love
What about the Jesse James catch,
Yeah.
Des Bryant caught it.
That was properly ruled.
That was proper ruling. What?
He's a
You're a
Patriots-
crackhead. Yeah,
He's
I know.
he's a Patriots fan. We already know we're checking him in the rehab soon.
It was against the Patriots, so proper ruling, my guy. I don't know what to tell you.
So how many
What
more
if it was against
losing
the Lions?
seasons before he switches from a
Jesse
Patriots
James
fan?
touchdown.
What'd you say?
Jesse James touchdown all day.
Yeah. Okay. I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah.
What do you say,
there's
Ben?
been
I
three more
said-
years that Austin's going to be bandwagon a team.
Yep, that's
gonna-
what we're thinking.
2,446 days.
And it's
since Jesse caught that
obviously
ball.
going to be the Cincinnati Bengals because he loves Burrow.
I love Burrow, but I'll always be a Patriots fan.
I don't know. A couple more losing seasons, you might finally sway and go. Just saying.
Probably not. I don't ever foresee it.
From T
Never
in the
really had it.
Harbor to riding Tigers.
I mean, you
Cincinnati
while
Bengals.
growing up, you got a Patriots team that was consistently in the playoffs. So, like, this is the first time your faith is truly going to be tested.
How I
Two
got the field
out
goal
of
for
3
the
seasons
first
losing.
20 years of my life with the Red Wings.
That's not my fault.
So
Hey,
we're
you know,
testing your metal now.
As a Steelers fan, I think
was
I
gonna
had my
say-
faith tested when Antonio Brown and Le'Veon Bell were on the fucking team. Okay.
Let's say all of us have got to see some of our, not in every sport, but our fan base. I got the Pistons and Red Wings winning my fan base some championships. Austin has the Patriots. You got the Steelers and the Penguins. Ben's
got
had the
nothing.
Celtics and the Bruins, and the Red Sox were decent in 2010 prior.
Ben's got
Yeah.
nothing. That's fine.
And I've been a Colts fan since day
No,
one.
guys,
Through the Peyton Manning, Andrew Luck, and whatever the hell this situation is. Still be Colts through and through.
Yeah, you
The Colts are treating their quarterback position like the NFL's treating their running back position.
Right? Yeah, bro. We just signed some old ones.
Like,
Hope
who
for
wants to
some
come
good
play
news.
quarterback for us
Yeah,
for $4
bro.
million a year?
Yeah, dude. Dude, I'm so tired.
Philip Rivers, you'll even
Oh.
have time to have an 11th kid, dude. I swear.
Hell yes.
Matt Ryan.
No,
wanna blow a-
you can't
wanna
have the
blow a-
final piece.
Jesus.
Matt Ryan. Hey, dude, we'll be up 28-3 multiple times. Come on here.
Yeah.
Jesus fuck.
So,
Man,
if
Bailey
Cooks-
Zappi is going to take over the starting job.
Oh,
in New
dude,
England,
he
and
should.
I'm so
No,
excited.
Don't you
not.
say that.
He's good. He should.
I'll trade for him right now. I actually
He's
kind of want
going
him because
to.
I have Mac Jones. So I
Well,
kinda
then
want
you
him.
got the backup.
He's-
Now,
he's
if
not
Cook
gonna
signs
take
with the Jets
He's going
because he
I will
wants
put
to
a
win
blow
chip
up
with
doll in
Rodgers.
this chair and crawl to your apartment right now if you give me Bailey Zappi. I'll put my GoPro on my forehead.
You should
And
do
crawl?
it just to prove that Travis won't do it.
Yeah, do it. Yeah, that's a deal. You got to crawl the whole way, though.
I gotta
Just-
find a blow up doll first.
Yeah, that was the
Alright,
first
see,
hurdle,
Travis'
guys.
See?
Plan's already failed.
Okay, so if Cook signs,
I'm like-
That's
I
why I
knew
put
he
that
wasn't.
stipulation in there, backdoor out.
Yeah, interesting. Interesting.
Crazy.
You can
how
do it
that
without the
happened.
blow up. You can do it without the blow up doll. That's fine.
no, we just want to see you
But
crawl.
you have to
over
crawl
there.
over. Yeah, that's it. That's fine. So I'm cutting you a better deal than what you asked for.
There
Okay,
you go, Travis. What do you say? What says you?
No,
What
no
says
deal.
you, Travis?
no deal. Okay, so you're
just-
whipping out.
You proposed the contract. I got
Yeah,
I got a
that's
blow up
it.
doll in my closet. I can when you come over, you can grab it and put it back there. There you go.
Shane made it cheaper for you.
Sweet. It better be used, damn it.
So
Shane
deal
made
or no
cheaper,
deal,
you're-
Travis?
And you're still saying no, Travis? That's crazy.
I can't drink beer while I'm crawling.
Quick question: we brought up
Sure you
Joe.
can.
You're backing out of it.
Man.
Quick thing: we brought up
It's
Joe
kinda
Burrow
sus,
because it's
bro.
Austin's favorite, player. He got injured with that calf strain. They're saying a couple weeks, but they're keeping that kind of tight to the chest. Are we worried that there's actually something more going on there, and he might miss some time?
No. Teams do that with a lot of injuries.
There's
I
no
think-
reason. They got 6.5, 7 weeks till meaningful football starts. There's no reason to rush him back.
Yep.
They're saying several weeks as saying he's done till week 1. That's what that means.
Basically, hold him out,
Plays,
maybe light training.
Preseason.
If it's
So
serious enough
The
to miss
official
games,
diagnosis was a calf strain. So a muscle strain can range from, it's not a tear, so that's a good sign. If it's not a tear, that's number one, great. So we don't have a tear. The more time that you get to heal a strain, the better.
Mm-hmm.
So, the better rehab facilities that you can go ahead and run through, and all that stuff. Like, and
He
that's a
misses-
big deal. And
If he
Chat
actually
just said
misses
something
time,
good.
I'm calling it the first 2 weeks absolute max. That's it.
Yeah, me too. A calf injury can linger like a hamstring.
Yeah,
Might be good a couple weeks if he irritates it. Yeah,
but he's Joey B. He stay hydrated.
yeah.
He
I don't know.
That's
It was
true.
a
One,
non-contact
and then
injury.
his lap one.
I will,
What are you trying to? What's that?
Are you implying that it's an ACL?
I've been playing that, calf strain, but really it could be his ACL messing with him. It is the one he injured in the past.
No
a
chance.
nagging thing.
No chance.
already.
they
No
already did
chance.
MRIs and everything. He good. He's good on
If
He
if
gonna be
if it was an ACL, they would have said it already. They would
Well,
have.
not a
As much as
tear
Burrow
or a
going
rip
down
or anything,
helps me
but
against
just-
Austin in fantasy. I need him to be healthy for Chase. So I'm kind
If
of
it-
invested in Burrow myself.
An ACL sprain would be a 12-week injury. So even an ACL sprain would be a 12-week. Like, that's 10 to 14 weeks.
Yeah.
Like, no, there's no chance. Because if it was, they would say something because then he wouldn't be back till week 4 or 5. They would already say something.
Yep.
Just on
Now-
because
now my
you have
boy
to
gonna be
remember.
back week 1.
They would have just put him on the
'Cause
PUP
you got-
and he's able to come off anytime in the first 6 weeks and they would have just been done with it. There's no reason to hide it.
Yep.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Then you
So-
get to go sign another player, examine them, and
Right.
get a possible depth piece at worst. Or that's a situation where you get your Kareem Hunt. That's the type of situation where you get your Dalvin Cook. That's that type of situation. That's the type of opening.
or if it was like super serious out of nowhere and he by chance misses the entire season, they're like, "Hey, San Fran, we want Trey Lance."
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That'd
be funny.
going through training camp so far, you guys changing up your potential sleepers or anything like that?
I went from
Based on everything we've
I'll
seen
admit
so
something.
far.
I was saying that Zay Flowers was my least favorite wide receiver
Thank
out of the
you.
4
He
when it
balling
first
out.
happened. He's now my wide receiver 2 behind JSN. Partly because of the Jordan Addison situation and Quentin Johnson having
Zoom.
players that are good in front of him.
Jordan Addison looking pretty good in camp though too.
He is.
He's made some
And can I say something about the Addison situation?
I read
How
up on it.
fucking, how
I-
fucking
Shane,
stupid.
Shane, I said no. Okay, calm down. okay. Okay. All right, you can talk now.
Well, I read the official police report. He was
Okay.
speeding because his dog was having a medical emergency. He was trying to get his dog.
Oh,
to him.
interesting.
That's
I
what
changed
read.
my point. Oh, interesting.
That,
You probably
I
should've
changed my
mentioned
I
that.
changed my tune on it too. As soon as I read that, I was like, all right, I feel it. Especially since my cat just died today. It's all right.
Like,
Rest in
that is a little different. Like, it doesn't make it okay because, you could have had a Henry Rugg situation.
But
Yeah.
But, yeah.
trying to save your pet's life. I get it.
Chat said sorry for your cat.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay.
Moment of silence. Moment of silence.
JSN balling out.
This one's for
I
the
want
cat.
JSN now.
I've heard a lot about it. Jameer Gibbs, playing amazing.
Mhm.
Amon-Ra Jared Goss was saying Amon-Ra St. Brown's going to be exceptional this year.
George Pickens gave Joey Porter Jr. his welcome to the NFL moment today.
Well, no one cares about the Steelers. I'm just kidding.
Okay, red, white, and
I care
blue.
more. I care more about the
Cuckaroid.
Steelers than I do the Patriots.
Red, white, and blue. Yeah, man, I am. I'll take it.
Loser.
That's
I bet you don't have a Wiz Khalifa song about your team.
That doesn't
right.
mean anything.
Toby
It means
Keith
that
said-
you don't have a Wiz
He hasn't-
Khalifa song about your team. That's what that
They-
means.
They got a Toby Keith song. Put a boot in your ass.
So-
Is your team Snoop Dogg's favorite team?
Who-
Bro, we're talking about two of the greatest stoners of all time. And they're both the biggest diehard Steelers fans. It's funny how that happens, huh?
Yeah. That's a good point.
It's funny how that happens. That the most chill guys on the planet both like the Steelers, and I associate with them.
Yeah,
I feel like
they
I would
realized
be
the
the
rest
third
of the Steelers
musketeer
were
in
annoying
that
and they
group.
needed some offset. So I've also
Yeah,
heard
yeah,
a lot
I'll
about
offset
the tight
it.
end. So for the tight ends,
Mhm.
a lot coming from Luke Musgrave from Green Bay. A lot of good news from him. So possibly
Same
even
with Sam Laporta
working
in Detroit.
early too, and Sam Laporta. I still like Michael Meyer out at Las Vegas. I still love him, and Dalton Kincaid for Buffalo. Although I don't know if he'll pass Dawson Knox, but I think the
there's
tight
gonna be a
ends
lot
could be
more
good
two
in a
tight
couple
end
of
sets.
years.
I think a lot of teams are switching to 2 tight end sets. The guys that don't have the established ability to have they don't have the good running back by committee pieces are switching to the 2 tight end sets with 2 very usable tight ends. That's what we're seeing.
Yeah.
Buffalo case in point.
Oh dang! John Ross retired. I did not know that.
Now, you know what I found funny so far? In Superflex leagues, a lot of the rankings have Anthony Richard number 2 right behind Bijan Robinson. Above Stroud, above Bryce. So is it because of his rushing upside?
That's what happens. No, it's because when Josh Allen has success being the same kind of prospect like that, then the hype train began. That's why.
Well, wouldn't
Every
Josh Allen be
quarterback
closer
that's
to
been
Will
super
Levis?
Once Josh
Because I would
Allen
view
is
Anthony
a
Richardson
mobile
closer to Justin Fields and Lamar Jackson.
No,
He's
like
a great
mobile.
athlete. We're talking about we're talking about people who didn't have
when he was coming out of college.
Coming in, they weren't pro ready. The intangibles weren't there, but the potential metrics of their athletic ability was off the charts. That's what I'm talking about.
Okay. Well, then, yeah, he would be
But
a Josh Allen type.
Quarterbacks
Raw
that had
prospect.
athletics like this, but had a learning curve that needed to go like this.
Right.
And Josh Allen busted through, and once when he had success, all those quarterbacks that had that potential started becoming popular. And then, I wouldn't put Jalen Hurts in that category.
Well, I think that used to be the way that people drafted quarterbacks, but then Jamarcus Russell happened.
Yeah.
Well, because Michael Vick's got really well. Let's go back before Michael Vick and give props to Randall Cunningham and whatnot. But Vick happened, and then the next very super athletic QB with a cannon comes in, and he signed that contract, and Lamar, which Lamar's 100 times better than Jamarcus. I mean, Lamar's got an MVP, but Jamarcus Russell is unarguably a top 3 biggest bust in NFL history.
Oh yeah.
Who's worse, him or Ryan Leaf? It's close. It's him or Ryan Leaf.
I'm Russell all day.
Russell.
Because the thing is with Leaf is Leaf tried, he failed. Russell didn't try.
Care.
He did not care. Did you watch this DVD? I sure did. Really?
The Blitz package.
Really?
And they were blank or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. I will say
no, they were not. They weren't blank. They didn't exist.
Yeah.
There weren't CDs. There weren't DVDs in it. The case. He didn't even open the fucking DVD case. Come on. You're getting paid millions.
To study.
Dude, if I was getting paid that, you could strap me up like I was in Clockwork Orange and make me watch some film. I don't give a fuck. Like,
I'm going to say the biggest bust in recent, last 5 seasons. I'm going to say this just because, Stewart, CEH.
Yeah.
Man,
I don't know.
Only reason I say that is because is just because of the draft capital Stewart spent on him in fantasy football 101.
Yeah.
I think he still could. I want
to put him in bust territory. Yeah.
He's got a lot of competition now. I think they had the right trio there to be very competitive at running back.
I could agree with that. So CJ Stroud and Davis Mills guys are still splitting first team reps. What do you think that means for not just the season but for fantasy?
Oh, they're just trying to ignite a fire in CJ Stroud, show him, hey, just because we drafted you high, we're not just going to hand you the keys to the Lambo. They're going to hand him the keys to the Lambo. Yeah, once week one hits, they're going to hand him the
gave him his
keys.
fully guaranteed contract. They're definitely going to have to.
They're just
the
showing
first
him.
time though we've seen something similar happen.
But I mean, I still stand by my original statement months ago. Davis Mills was not the problem in Houston.
Yeah.
So that was a really
Yeah, imagine if they had just grabbed
Their
Will
receiving
Anderson
core was
and
the
Devin
problem.
Witherspoon.
I think three quarterbacks in recent memory that did not get a fair shake. Mills with Gardner Minshew and Mitchell Trubisky. I think
If you're going to draft two players in the top 10, you got to take one defense and one offense, like JSN. Will Anderson, JSN, back at 12 or 13, whatever.
Give your quarterback. You still had Brandon Cooks at the time. Give another good, a great talent opposite of that, and then give your defense a chance.
Or you move some picks around and you get Kincaid. You end up getting Joey Porter Jr. too.
No, because Dalton Schultz is good enough.
I like Schultz.
Yeah,
Schultz is
but
good
Kincaid's really good.
I'm not saying he's not good. I'm just saying
I do like that
I
in
would
Buffalo.
have kept Schultz still.
I do like the Kincaid in Buffalo with Dawson Knox there because Dawson Knox has been effective and has been a good red zone threat when Josh Allen targets him.
Then why not?
But
why not in Houston? If that's the case, why not have the double tight end set in Houston? That would have been lethal.
Because I think Dameon Pierce is by far the best running back on both of their rosters combined.
Yeah,
That's fair.
And CJ can
you're not wrong.
CJ can run too. Not saying Josh can't, but they've openly said that they're gonna not run Josh as much. But
What's the last great dual tight ends we've seen? Dual tight end sets.
the Patriots were
Gronkowski and Hernandez.
Yeah,
that was a good one.
But
I think
before that,
No,
I think one that's gonna be good because I think Kittle still has 5 to 7 great years left in him, especially with how well Kelsey's performing still at his age.
mm-hmm.
But who's the tight end that San Fran drafted this year? Let's see.
I don't know.
I do want to throw out there. I thought Ertz and Goddard was a pretty good wombo combo.
Yes, that was really good.
Cam Newton.
That was very good.
Cameron Newton is tight end, by the way, Travis.
Yes, I give it 2 seasons, and I think they're going to be great. Especially,
I think Gonzalez
once
and
CMC
Hernandez
starts getting older.
I think Gonzalez and Hernandez were just the GOAT tight end combo. I think that was peak.
What's
tight
crazy
end
that
combos.
happened?
It was a killer combo. Just they were on the field murdering people.
Yeah.
Gonzalez.
But
Well, that combo was just lethal.
What's crazy to think is that at that point in time, before
Gronkowski didn't do anything other than party.
Hernandez was
But
looking like he was going to be
Gronkowski-
better than Gronk at that time.
Yeah,
Before
he did look
Hernandez
like he
went to
could
prison and everything.
pass.
And that's
I don't
crazy
think
to
he was
think.
going to be better, but he was quicker and more agile for sure.
And he was stronger, and he was just he looked like
He was for free.
Hernandez for those 2 seasons or so, where he was doing Gronk things better than Gronk ever did for that 2 season span. If he did that for 2 or 3 more years, we'd be talking about Hernandez as one of the greatest tight ends of all time. So if he didn't have that mental breakdown, I think that's how good he was.
I think it was
And
Gronk though,
because
because he was already the favorite, and he had that height. He was still pretty damn quick. So, because Hernandez was still only 6 foot, 6'1".
Chug.
And then you get Gronk at 6'5", 6'6", still quick as shit. Not as fast as Hernandez.
He's just hard to
still
take
quick as
down.
shit.
It's like
Yeah.
Ben Roethlisberger playing tight end, but he could run a 4.5 40, 4.6
One
40.
of my favorite one of my favorite moments is that when Gronk just fucking threw the Colts dude in the playoff game. That was funny.
I wonder why that was funny.
Yeah.
Because it was hilarious.
Aaron Hernandez was 6'2", 250, and he was like straight muscle.
No, 6'1", 6'2". What a big difference.
You said
I don't
6
know.
foot.
If you want to talk about height,
I
talk
said
about
6 foot 6.
Daryl Washington, the guy the Steelers just drafted at tight end. Good God.
Darnell Washington is a
Darnell
fucking
Washington.
stud, baby.
6'7",
That's gonna say
264.
I was gonna say speaking of dual tight end threats, because
my.
Pat
Pat
Freiermuth is
Freiermuth,
already
yeah.
good, and then having Darnell Washington, like I've been
Yeah.
talking about Darnell Washington since
High school.
he was like a senior in high school. Yeah.
Not when you got Kenny Pickett.
And I will say,
Man,
my brother
you're
Nick
tripping.
my brother Nick did put me on the Darnell Washington back then. He did do that, and I've been watching him ever since.
I was
He's
saying,
been a
wasn't
monster.
there a video of him like
He's a
just absolutely
stud.
destroying people? I mean, 6'7" and to run a
It looked-
6'4",
It looked like you were watching the blind, like
or 4'6".
you were watching the Blind Side in real life, like that.
right.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you want to talk about power, speed. He can catch. The reason that he fell so far was because of concerns about a knee. But, like, you know, you don't have to play every snap because you got Pat Freiermuth. So you get, like, the big issue with him for the Steelers is non-existent.
Because they're not going to give him enough reps to like give him
Aggravate it.
there. The only,
Yeah.
the only injury he's going to have is just a freak accident.
Yep.
Like,
So, like, we're talking about dual tight end sets. I didn't want to get into the Steelers like that, but you brought them up. Like, you got Najee Harris in that backfield,
for
too.
fantasy, I would say for fantasy
was doing
purposes,
so good. Shane was.
I would
doing
say
so
for
good.
fantasy purposes, it hurts Freiermuth a little bit. For like real life, what it's going to do, I like it.
I think it boosts his stock because I think they're going to run more jumbo sets. So I think because of that, though, if you
Freiermuth
have
is already a monster in the red zone, if now you can't double team him in the red zone because Washington's 6'7", then
yeah, bro, check it. Think of this jumbo set. Okay, your two receivers, you got Deontay Johnson and George Pickens, or if you're in the red zone, Allen Robinson and George Pickens, Darnell Washington and Pat Freiermuth and Najee Harris. This is a scary lineup.
yeah.
You know, scary. Amon-Ra and Kyle Pitts. Boom. Fuck the Steelers.
They ain't even on the same team.
Do you think
Yeah,
Amon-Ra's going to Austin? Do you think Amon-Ra's going to blow up this year?
I think he's in a perfect spot too, and it kind of scares me to play you. So yeah.
I'm scared to play you, dude. What the heck?
Oh God, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it.
We'll see.
Wait,
yeah, I mean,
Jimmy
it's
Graham?
it's gonna be.
Yeah, you see. Did you
Jimmy
see
Graham
that
to the Bears. A family reunion.
he went back to New
Back to the
Orleans.
Saints. Back to the
Back to
Saints.
the
Yeah.
Saints.
Which I didn't like that because
Damn.
I was loving my Juwan Johnson stock. I mean, I'm still going to hold on to him because he was getting a lot of red zone targets. and
It's
he's
still gonna.
talented.
He's gonna be fine. Fantasy. Especially
The reason I
fantasy.
like him too, that's part of the reason why I loved Carr going there, because we saw how much he liked to target Waller. Ooh, there we go. Juwan Johnson, big and athletic like Waller. There we go.
Yep.
But that's why I was like, I'm holding him.
Yep.
That's why I never offered him on trades.
All right, so heading into training camp and going through training camp, who are some of you guys' thinks is like some of the most overrated
Overrated?
fantasy purposes?
Are we talking just in general?
Deontay
or-
Johnson.
Oh,
I think
fantasy
Deontay
purposes
got hurt.
overrated.
Jordan
No,
Addison.
Deontay Johnson.
Why? Jordan Addison.
What?
He
I
can never
actually
be
kind
the
of
number
agree with that,
one.
Not because of his ability.
He can never be the
Let's say
number
one,
one.
yeah,
Justin
he-
How does that make
Jefferson's
him
there.
overrated?
You guys
Well,
are
I think
talking
that
him up
people
like
were
he's
just
going to be a
assuming he's gonna
1,300
walk in and take
receiver.
all-
Yeah, it's not.
I agree with Ben on this. Actually, I don't think that KJ Osborne was really good without Thielen last season, and like really good on a per game basis and per catch basis. And I think that competition is going to be a lot more stiff than you think. And the fact that like Hawk got targeted at a crazy level once he joined the Vikings, so I think Hawk's going to get a lot more targets than the tight ends normally get in that situation, especially now that Dalvin Cook's gone. And if Madison's not doing the same yards per carry that Cook is, like, you know, Hawk's going to get more involved. And I think KJ Osborne's going to take more targets from Addison than people originally think because he's going to force their hand to. Because I think KJ's better than people are giving him credit for. So I can see Addison not. Addison, I like his he's a great athlete, great ability. I just don't think the targets for the amount of targets he's going to get is not going to justify his draft position going forward.
I don't think that makes him. What is his draft position? Let's see.
Like most people are taking him top 10 in Superflex and PP
in Dynasty, especially.
In Dynasty, 100%. He's going top 10.
First round, yeah.
And the target share that he's going to get, I mean, he's going to have his games, don't get me wrong, but like the target share he's going to get on a weekly basis, I don't think is going to justify him going in the first round.
So you think he should be drafted over 86?
Like over
probably 50, probably 50 to 90. I think 50 to 90 would be
right now his
ADP,
especially in startup drafts, is 86.
Yeah,
So
I think 50 to 90
86
would be about where he's at.
I wouldn't say 86 really is overrated.
I've just seen a lot of people
getting put.
I mean, before the draft started, I mean, not before the draft started, but like once the draft happened and he got drafted to the Vikings, like my first shock value and everything, I'm just like, because on paper before he went to the Vikings, he was my number 2 wide receiver in the draft anyways, behind JSN. And then it fell a little bit, but then initially I didn't like Zay Flowers in Baltimore, and Quentin Johnson, I wasn't as big on him to begin with, and then Keenan Allen and Mike Williams, when they're healthy, it's like good luck getting enough targets there. But things have changed. Zay Flowers has been impressing me. And then like me logically thinking things out with the Vikings, like I don't know. Specifically in rookie dynasty drafts, I think Addison's being overvalued.
Thank you for agreeing.
I disagree. I think there's a big argument for someone like Dalvin Cook being taken too high, especially
that's why
in redraft.
I traded him.
In startup leagues, he's been drafted way too high for what he is currently.
Everyone jumped on the Miami hype train.
And like his biggest 3 teams are Miami, New England, and the Jets. No good. None of those teams are good for him to succeed.
Miami.
I beg to differ. The Miami's perfect for him. They run the same.
The perfect scheme
that they ran at Florida State. That's literally.
Yeah, but they have Devin Achane, which they also like. So like
Devin Achane has literally no ACLs. He is a 3-year rental, and they know it.
That's fine. I would also argue Darren Waller over Jordan Addison.
Yeah, he literally
being
has
overrated.
no ACL.
Yeah, I don't think Darren Waller's going to get the targets that everyone expects. He's
well, it's because you don't expect
because of the
Hall of Famer Danny Dimes to do it.
No, I'm not saying.
Okay.
No, it's not because it has nothing to do with Danny Dimes. It's just because of the drop off between the top 5 guys that after the next to everyone else is huge. There's after the top 5, there's like 15 guys that will take turns week through week, interchanging who's 6.
Yeah,
and
I got faith
Waller
in Danny
will have
Dimes,
his
though.
weeks, and I think obviously like Waller has proven it and pure talent when healthy. He's definitely he's a top 7.
Yeah, because he's a ball hawk on the team.
But I just
have that on the Giants.
I was gonna say they have, especially with all the young gun talent they have there. Wendell Robinson's going to come in. They just drafted Jalen Hyatt. I like it. You get Saquon, and Cody Bellinger was coming on too. I like him. So
no,
I don't know.
exactly.
He's going to probably, like, if he stays healthy, just because the tight end position's so weak, he's probably going to finish 8 to 10. But if you draft him expecting him to bounce back to top 4 for him, you're crazy.
Yeah,
I still disagree with Jordan Addison being overrated, but that's okay.
I don't think his talent's overrated. I just think his situation's overrated for what fantasy wise, what people should reasonably expect production.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying it can't be done because look at the Eagles, Devontae Smith and AJ Brown, and they have a top 5 tight end in Goddard as well. But it's just the Dalvin Cook leaving and then seeing the target share that TJ Hawkinson gets. That's what makes me worrisome.
But the targets do go up because Dalvin's gone.
Yep.
It just depends.
They got to go somewhere.
Depends on what percentage of touches they trust Madison with.
Okay.
Probably
so then-
less.
All right. Jordan has an over under 215. No, sorry,
fantasy?
200.
For fantasy points?
Yeah.
Under.
Under
200
200 fantasy points. Ooh.
30.
I think
I'm taking the
I'm
under.
gonna say he finishes 175 to 185 for fantasy points.
Yeah, I would say about 30.
I think he goes over 200.
Yeah, under.
Ooh. I just think KJ. I think KJ Osborne eats too much for him to do that. Him and KJ are gonna finish both anywhere between 150 and 180. Both of them will.
I think KJ, he's going to get bumped down to 3.
Hawk and Jefferson are gonna hog everything.
Possible.
Yeah.
Unlikely, but
like,
possible.
Unless Addison somehow can run 155 miles per hour, he is
You
not
never
in
know,
good light.
Shane. You never know.
He's not in good light with the Vikings front office or coaching staff right now.
No, but I
Like-
mean, that's fine. That's fine. It's still early.
We understand the situation. Maybe they are cool with it because they understand like shit happens. But
Mhm.
you know, especially with the Henry Ruggs situation happening so not long ago, like we're talking about something that is disgusting and despicable that happened. When a first round wide receiver does it, very similar thing, 3 years later, it's a very bad look.
Mhm.
It doesn't matter if he was trying to save his dying dog or if he was a drunk driver. It's a bad look. And unfortunately, like, the ends don't justify the means necessarily. And
Who has
that's the
James
situation
Cook
with
in our
that.
league?
Malcolm, don't you dare! No. Why are we both going for the same people? Stop
I
it!
might
Bad.
have to go talk to Malcolm about
No.
James Cook.
James Cook and Jahan Dotson are the people I've been wanting to target for like 3 months, but I just gotta wait, and I hate it.
Hey,
Yeah, he's not
there's some
trading
good stuff
until
coming
the
about
draft
James
day.
Cook. There's some good stuff coming about James Cook.
I've been talking to him. Yeah. Also, something that I really like because of my running back situation is Frank Reich said that Miles Sanders is going to be a 3-down workhorse back. He said that today.
Apparently,
And I'm like, yes. Now I want Chuba Hubbard just in case.
oh no!
I'm gonna go. I'm actually gonna go talk to Joel about that. I got Spiller. I got his Eckler handcuff, and he has my Sander handcuff. So I might try do a flip flop there.
You should do it and then give me Chase.
No. If we did have a decent discussion about that.
Yeah, we can continue.
I forgot about that actually. No one else knows about that trade offer except me and you.
Ben knows.
Okay.
What does
Yeah.
Ben think about for
I
both of us?
talked to him about it a little bit.
I think I wasn't
hate
actually
it.
gonna send it because I think I'm losing it.
Yeah.
I think like for pure production this year I was losing it, but like overall value long term it's even. It's kind of fair.
I
But-
I mean, I broke it down because those third-round picks meant nothing. So it's like I chopped those off right off the bat. Alrighty, well, thank you so much for tuning in. Go ahead, like, subscribe, comment, share.
No.
Follow us
No.
on the Facebook. Derper
No.
Nation is always
No.
streaming, so we
No.
appreciate him. No.
No.
Am I going to be
Yes.
good to go through the rest of this?
All right, Travis.
Why?
Guns up, guns down. Follow the Facebook. Hop in the Discord. Have a good night.
Why?
Still no? You're not going to hit the outro?
You never say the name? Jeez.
I love you.
The Sporting Lounge.
I love you too, Shane.
If
Fuck
I
the
was
Steelers.
sported, I don't even know. I'm speechless.